Welcome to the MatriArch Podcast, a sisterhood of legendary Black queens in the making, speaking about real issues, questions, thoughts, ideas, lessons, and cultivating future experiences. So let's get our crowns, wine, slippers, and start the conversation. Hello and welcome to the MatriArch Podcast. This is your host, Ashley Washington. I hope you all are doing well today. Today we're going to be talking about a plethora of things, more specifically, life be lifin'. So what does that mean? Life, the longer you live it, the more complicated it gets, the more interesting it gets, and the more you see that the blessings that come, the blessings that are before you, all have a purpose in your walk in life here. So we will be covering that. And we are just super excited to go ahead and get started. So without further ado, if you do not know my story, I am a mother of two. Currently, they are 3 and 5. My journey began long before that. However, my journey as a mother was actually to, just experience motherhood just like anybody else, right? God had a testimony that he wanted me to walk through first. And with my first daughter, she was diagnosed with neuroblastoma at the age of 3.5 months. And God gave us that testimony to walk through with myself and my husband. And so we are so very blessed. She is cancer free as of 2019, October. And we are so very blessed. And then we walked again on faith and said, let's have another baby. And our second baby, came. And so she actually had her own things that she had to deal with. But, God always provides, and where there's a will, there's a way. And with God, we have just walked through so much. So I am here sharing with you not only my story, but how we can kind of move forward and what matriarch is. So throughout my journey, places throughout the Southeast and grown richer. And by richer, I mean through our just culturally. And the more and more you move around, the more and more you find out about yourself, whether it be culture, whether it be something that you've looked for. It's interesting the places that you live, how you find more of yourself. So we first met, I was living in Charlotte about 15 years ago now. Wow. And so we actually met at a pajama party. So I was living in Charlotte at the time, Charlotte, North Carolina. He was living in Columbia, South Carolina at the time, finishing up some schooling there. Go Gamecocks, if you guys are fans. But yeah, so we met at a pajama party. It was a pretty wild night, but we had so much fun meeting new people that are still in our lives to this day. And it has just been such an adventure ever since. So that's where our stars aligned. We love to share that story. It brings back such good memories. We had such a good time. And who knew, with my pigtails and pajamas on, I would be meeting my husband, who was going to be later on in my life, Brandon. So he's been such a blessing. We've been a blessing to one another. And throughout that journey, we have moved throughout the Southeast, like I stated earlier. So we have lived in Florida. We double dipped. We've lived in North Carolina, South Carolina. And so it's just been a lot of fun. But as you go throughout all of these areas, and we even lived in Georgia for a while, you learn a lot about yourself. You grow with not within yourself, but also with each other. And so we've always carried home is where the heart is. I know it's just a crazy slogan, but there's a lot of truth in that. And the truth being that home is what you make it, right? Are you comfortable? Are you with someone that you love? Is your heart where your home is? So it's just been a very interesting road. And it has led us to be in Huntersville, North Carolina right now, which has been absolutely amazing. We lived in the Triangle for 6.5 years. That was absolutely great. The culture there, if you have not been there, it's innovative, it's fun. People are always ready to meet. People have such interesting journeys and are from different places and walks of life. And it causes you to grow. It causes you to um, celebrate things that you never knew, like Diwali and different cultures and experiences. And it's just such a great place to live. So now we get to explore Huntersville, see what that's all about. Concord, Cornelius, Kannapolis all kind of border us, even Morrisville. And there are two Morrisvilles, North Carolinas. But it's going to be a lot of fun since we're closer to family and we can see them a lot more. So we're just trying to see what that looks like and just explore as much as we possibly can. I will say that there are some differences that I have noticed. I will follow up on this podcast and talk about a little bit more of those differences, innovation versus tradition, things of that nature, and what we're trying to get used to in the Charlotte area where it's just a little bit more cliquish, it seems. But there are people that you can reach out to, and it's just like anywhere else where you can just take others by the hand and just have that village and support. So we're just trying to figure out what all that is, what it looks like. Also, while I'm building MatriArch, which hopefully will become something that is household and just very friendly and welcoming and an extension of a village that you've already either come from or a village. So, yeah. So, with that, that's a little bit of my story. I have some fellow matriarchs that have been pushing me to share that story and just a little bit of my background and being vulnerable. I'm just so used to working behind the scenes. Professionally, actually, have a corporate background. I've always strived to work in corporate. And then when I got there, I was just kind of like, WTF, what is this? What do you mean we're not trying to innovate here? There is definitely some opportunities and low hanging fruits that we can just kind of nix this in the bud. No, we don't quite operate that way. So there were some things that I learned, good, bad, some ugly, but along the way, it's always just a part of the journey for you and your experiences as a whole. And some people are able to thrive with certain opportunities in corporate. So I don't want to shun corporate America, completely. There are ways to thrive, there are opportunities. And if you get one of those opportunities, please, please take them. I have learned so much throughout my journey. Um, but yes, I started out as marketer. I've done business development. However, I have an interior design background and I gained my marketing interest there, working for a place called Quality Wall Beds, which is no more. But it was a great place to work. Lloyd Berkeley, oh my goodness, he will forever remain close to my heart. He is an awesome guy, awesome boss. And he just allowed me the floor to thrive. So thank you so much, Lloyd. I don't know if you're listening to this podcast, but if you are, I really, really appreciate you and that it will forever be. So that's a little bit of my background as far as, just what I have done in the past. But with that marketing came, hey, this is corporate America, welcome. Then went into automotive. I've done waste management. I've taken on, this is my second time double dipping in the entrepreneurial journey. It is just inherently where my brain works the best. And it's just an absolute amazing journey to be on. First, it was in marketing. Now I'm taking on MatriArch, which we've launched a magazine this year, a clothing line this year, and so on and so forth. And it is all me doing all of the work. So along my journey, I will have to ask for help. But right now it's just me and just trying to figure out what exactly that means, what that is. Being a writer, editor, author, and designer, and all of the things that I kind of have in my arsenal, just kind of locked and loaded and ready to go. I'm able to explore because I refuse to believe that people are just very linear. People have so much depth, and to ask them to do one thing per day is almost equivalent to, stamping something on a piece of paper, which is just absolutely insane to me. So instead of stamping on paper all day every day, I chose to take a leap of faith. My husband and I prayed about it, and we were like, okay, let's launch. You're getting out of corporate, let's launch and do it right. And he has really been my guiding North Star, and it is just absolutely amazing. So thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for allowing me to allowing me to be on your journey, and you listening to me. I just really, really appreciate it. And a part of this journey is going to be vulnerability. I've always kind of been behind the scenes and, able to create so many different things, so many different projects, so many different opportunities. However, being on the forefront and behind the scenes is a different challenge. And I'm willing to walk on that path right now, even as I speak. So, that vulnerability factor, particularly with being a Black woman, typically is not there. So, to create a platform and then being able to step out on that vulnerability as a Black woman is just such an opportunity that I'm just super, super happy for. So that in itself is absolutely amazing. And I just really want to just thank God right now. I thank Him for allowing me the opportunity to not only step up, but to also step out. And have friends along my journey that say, "Hey, Ashley, show your face more," and get out there a little bit more and be vulnerable. So, if you are holding yourself back, this is a message to you as well, to put forth not only yourself, but put aside your fears, step out. And we have such a powerful voice. And I was, after reading The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes, she came up in my feed. I'm like, God always knows what I'm doing. And she had stepped out after Bridgerton. I don't know if it's the last and final on others. However, Shonda Rhimes said, "Hey, ladies, I know you're out there. Stop being silent. Stop being in the corner and come out and be who you are, and show the world your passions, I'm paraphrasing here, obviously, show the world your passions, your purpose, and walk in that." So I felt like God was definitely speaking to me. And what was that? 8, 9 months later, I had formed MatriArch in honor of my grandmothers and what they have poured into me. And it's not just my grandmothers, it's the women, the Black women who were standing in just amazing waters for us always, that carried the village, whether or not they were babysitting you, whether or not they were just showing you or teaching you a lesson, whether it be through life observation, providing you, "Hey, this is an opportunity for you to shine. I want you to take it. I want you to speak in front of church. I want you to sing in front of church. I want you to do all of the things." And definitely thank my mother as well. She was fighting fights that I never even knew. So very easy. So thanks, Mom. Thank you to my grandmothers. Thank you to the village that God has left me and supported me. My cup definitely runneth over. And the history lessons that they taught, the history lessons that they were able to have a sit-in at Tony's Ice Cream in Gastonia and be a part of those things. It was just absolutely amazing to be surrounded by things of that nature. Definitely counting my blessings. I just had a 40-year-old birthday, which was just awesome. My husband took us to Cancun. It was a great trip. And we just got to see so much beauty and culture and authenticity and just loveliness and rest and get massages. But that was nice too. But it as you travel, as you see other people, how the world works, and it removes a lot of kind of what is being shown to us at a bell curve, I'll say. And at a bell curve, meaning people show what they want to show, and people victimize and try to make people out to be something that they're not, and they try to make these groups, which I refuse to be in. And we have to live our lives as we see them. But I am often encouraged not only by the resiliency of Black people around the world, but also through our American voyage or our American walk here. And while it's a place that is home, but also foreign, it's interesting as you travel to different countries, either how you're perceived, how you are treated, how you are just coming into the world. It just gives you that added perspective, which I absolutely love. And so, if you get a chance, don't be scared. Don't let people scare you into just seeing America. Please leave. View how how others live in the world, what they're used to, what they're not used to, water pressure, or toilets that flush in the opposite direction. So definitely encourage that, but also just building wealth, building knowledge as we go through this world in our journey. And just, man, God has built such a beautiful place for us. I just absolutely love it. And yeah, so that is my start, my reasoning for starting Matriarch, honoring the matriarchs that are in my family, my beautiful, beautiful daughters, my wonderful husband. And yeah, I just want to share and be vulnerable with you guys. Absolutely. So, my girlfriends, my other matriarch sisters, you know who you are. Thank you for encouraging me to go on this journey, to talk a little bit more about myself instead of, in addition to our guest. And just thank you so much for the support, the continued support of listening to the podcast, looking at our magazine, and soon to be our blacklisting. So, we love you guys. I thank you guys. And as we go through these Matriarch podcasts, I just want to say thank you, and thank you for the enrichment, the empowerment, and the opportunity that you have bestowed upon me to listen to by your ears. Um, Nourishment of the mind is half the battle when you wake up. And knowing that I get to be a part of that and a part of you is just such an honor. So thank you. Thank you. And I hope you enjoy the rest of this podcast. Matriarch would like to thank you for listening to our podcast. Please visit matriarchmom.com to continue the conversation and join the sisterhood of other legendary Black queens in the making.